7. Literally a house of play. Indoor-outdoor swimming pools, indoor-outdoor tennis courts, a gym, squash court, billiard room, bowling alley, living room, dining room, no bedrooms. That was in the hands of the family until David Rockefeller died in 2017. In his will, he gave it to the National Trust. One thing that they did that I think was very commendable, they realized the family had always used that place, so they cut a deal with the family, and the family can use it now in June, July, and at Christmas time. The rest of the time it belongs to the house.
Switch it up! Switch it!
I'm sorry, when Motherwell learned that, he contacts Nelson and says, I'll give you another one in the series. But they're very different in the series. Nelson's response, no, I like it just fine. Because Nelson wants to juxtapose this with Calder's Black Sickles, Black Comet. If you stand that just a second. A lot of people think this is a really neat pairing of the two. He purchases Peter Duchart's pair. Then he contacts Duchamp and says, can you do something on a flat surface to complement? This is Ernst Trova's Carman. A lot of people like this with the human body in the center axis.
Beautiful.
And this is Richard Lytle, Navigo. Lytle was all of about 26 years old when Nelson appeared in his studio. He was still working on this, and finally Nelson says to him, when you're done with it, I'll take it. That's pretty good to be 26 years old and have Nelson Rockefeller backing you. His two favorite artists are Picasso and Calder. Here's a Picasso lithograph, and the Calder's in here.
Switch it up!
So this was the long hallway from the very beginning, lined with Gustavino tile. If you've been to Ellis Island or the Oyster Bar at Grand Central, thin and fireproof. This is Lee Bonacue, titled Untitled. Anybody want to take a guess what it's made out of?
Oh, it's like leather? I don't know.
Andy Royal gets a small photo of Nelson, blows it up, does this acrylic silk screen, gives it to Nelson. Nelson likes it so much, he commissions this one of his wife, Happy. A lot of people I found over the years do like that. Verdict's out on that one, I think.
Switch it.
Up and down the hall. I would say by far the most valuable thing down here are the Picasso Tapestries. So let me give a little bit of background. Nelson never met Picasso, but he owned a number of his paintings. So finally he contacts him and says, I'd like you to make some copies for me. And Picasso's response, I don't do copies. Then he sees the Guernica tapestry. He buys it, recontacts him and says, would you consider doing tapestries? And Picasso says yes. So over the course of almost 20 years, Nelson commissions 18 tapestries. We have 12 down here. There are 3 in the conference center where you guys were, and 2 in private Rockefeller hands. The Guernica was here for about a year and a half. It's huge. Have any of you seen it? Mm-hmm. It hangs outside the General Assembly at the UN. It took up.
Remember, it was here.
It took up this whole wall. It's tremendous. There's a picture of it here.
These are the tapestries. This is crazy.
Growing up.
These are all the tapestries.
This has been permanently gifted to the United Nations now.
It's the first painting I had on the wall.
It's a room full of 13 tapestries from Picasso. These are all Picasso.
For those of you who, I don't know if
Wild.
everybody knows the background on this, but 1937, Franco, head of Spain, backed by Hitler, decided one day to wipe this place off. The painting will never hang in Spain so long as Franco lives. So until the early 80s, the painting hung at the Museum of Modern Art in the city, and then Franco died. It's now in a small museum in Madrid. We saw it a couple of years ago. I'll never forget the day we walked in. There were hundreds of people in the room, and you could hear a pin drop. People trying to absorb all the horror of war. Painting is really powerful. All done in black, white, and gray. Tapestry is done in the browns and the off-whites. All the other tapestries approximate the colors of the paintings. Picasso was no weaver. Madame Durbach was the weaver. She lived in the south of France near Picasso. Picasso's involvement, he supplies her with the cartoon for each one, and then he works with her on the colors to approximate the colors of the painting. They're all done in wool except the last one. The last one is done in silk.
Switch it up. come again.
This house was done in two different risings, they call it. And this is, I have a picture here in 1911. This is the first house. This tree, this ash was brought in 1911 to frame this. This was meant to be a Hudson River painting come to life. But there's an illusion. It looks like their property goes right down to the river.
Right.
It doesn't. Between the end of their property and the river is all of Tarrytown.
Yeah.
You don't see it, and they never saw it. Part of it, the slope of the land, part of it, the hundreds of trees that were brought in. And these trees are topped every year, so this vista remains intact. Pretty incredible. Are any of you guys like local, like New York?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you are and you haven't been here, you should really come back. I mean, you're seeing the bones of everything right now, but if you come back in May, that's when it's the most beautiful.
Yeah.
May and June, it's really, really pretty up here.
Switch it up.
That's it, y'all. Heading back to this meetings. We out of here.